Welcome back. Today is step 7 in the 10 steps of the number one trusted first-time homebuyer system in the country. Step 7 is breaking down all the terms and definitions so you can understand what the hell everyone is talking about in the home buying process. Play the music.
How to Buy a Home educates, protects, and connects first-time homebuyers to qualified vetted realtors in their area. Whether you're looking for DIY information or step-by-step guidance, How to Buy a Home is the number one resource for first-time homebuyers.
What's the happy haps, my How to Buy a Homies? I'm your host, David Sidoni, and today we're getting into step 7 of the 10 steps, translating the bizarre real estate terminology that the lawyers, the lenders, and the realtors all use to make you feel like they're speaking another freaking language. And some of this stuff is really kind of important that you know, because, for instance, there is a colossal difference between a pre-qualified loan and a pre-approved loan, and it's something you need to know. And then there's the types of loans. They've got all different types of terms: conventional, jumbo, fixed, variable, VA, FHA, USDA. And then there's the word escrow. I mean, it can mean like 18 different things. It's like aloha in Hawaii. Real estate people use escrow. They use that word for everything. The word broker can be like that too. I mean, there's some real estate agents that are brokers and some that are just agents. And with the lenders, yeah, you got the banks, the lenders, and then you have, you guessed it, mortgage brokers. And different parts of the country use different terms. You could get your offer accepted, or you could be in escrow, or you could be under contract, or conditionally accepted. And then you've also got a contingency period, or a condition period, or an option period. And those last ones are insane because when you get an accepted offer, when you're negotiating the price, they go, cool, you have an accepted offer. But those terms, they actually mean that it's going to be 30 days before your offer is officially accepted. And you're not guaranteed to get that home. But they said accepted. Fun. And of course, it's important to understand things like appraisal, points and loan points. And what about title? What's that? And what's that mean? And then there are the acronyms. Oh, Lordy, the acronyms. The DTI, the VA, FHA, LTV, CMA, MLS, ARM, PUD, DOM, HUD, NHD, and oh my G, are you freaking kidding me? So the bottom line is, homie, the terms and definitions, it's a lot. It's too much, actually. Because you see, gang, everything you need to know, all the terms, the definitions, the acronyms, and let's be honest, all those words that you really aren't a fan of because you hear other people say them and you think you should know it. So you just stare blankly at them and nod like you know what the heck they're talking about. Yeah, that can make you feel not so great. And this whole thing can be overwhelming. So what I've done is I've explained everything that you need to know in simple, easy terminology. It's the A to Z of the terms and definition of real estate, and it all starts at episode 94. Now, what I recommend is if you're serious about moving forward in your steps here for buying a home, keep going with these 10 steps and then sprinkle in a terms and definition episode when you want to mix things up. It's definitely not mandatory to listen to all the episodes A to Z, and especially not mandatory to listen to them before you start planning. That's why this isn't step 1 or 2, it's step 7. And a lot of the terms that will be helpful for you to know, they're helpful well after you've started the planning process. So stay in order. Make sure you go back and do steps 1 and 2 first. Get that real estate support team. You're going to be setting goals with them in those early action steps. And while you're doing those goals, you're going to have plenty of time to drop in the A to Z term episodes so you can get a good review and feel like you know what everyone's talking about. And as you're learning, remember, this is your journey, and only you know if you're the kind of person who wants to be super informed before you move into things, or if you're a fly by the seat of your pants kind of person. Many of the listeners found the A to Z episodes very helpful for them in gaining their confidence. But my greatest recommendation is to spend more time working on hiring that unicorn team first, and then start your plan with them before you go crazy into over-researching and trying to learn everything that they're eventually going to walk you through anyway. I can vouch for the fact that there's so much to learn, there's no way you're ever going to feel like you've got it all before you need to get started. So here's how you use this. You don't need to binge the A to Z before you start your planning. Use this as a tool while you're planning with your team. And the episodes, they're not tough to understand. I break things down in simple layman's terms. And if you can handle the many, many bad dad jokes that are mixed into those episodes, well, then you're going to gain the confidence and comprehension about this whole process, and that's a good thing. As a first-time homebuyer coach, I'm always trying to make sure people aren't scared or fearful. I'm trying to make sure they can boost their own confidence. And I heard something once a couple of years ago, totally blew my mind. You may or may not know that public speaking is the number one fear among humans. For real, it's like above heights, going to the dentist, flying in closed spaces, snakes, spiders. It's literally number one. And a British college professor saw that list and immediately realized that the number one fear that was at the top of the list, he actually had a pretty solvable solution. Confidence. So he tested his theory. One day he had the shyest student in the class come to the front and speak to the class about the lesson of the day. The student was so petrified, he practically fainted after the first sentence. So then what the professor did was he asked the student if he liked football. It was in England, so that's soccer to many of you out there. And of course, being a good English lad, the student said that his football team was probably his favorite thing in the whole world. So the professor told him, oh, you know what? In last night's game, the midfield play was rubbish and the manager was a wanker. Well, the student started to respond to what he said, and then he stopped him. And he said, all right, now, whatever you're going to tell me, address the entire class like you're doing it in the form of a lecture. And what happens? Well, the student confidently dropped a killer speech worthy of a TED Talk because he was confident in the material. When human beings are confident in what they're doing, fear dissolves away. So these terms and definitions, I tell people all the time, these are great for like when you're trying to go to sleep. Let it get into your subconscious. Mix the definitions in while you're working your planning of the big three, but they can help you get confident in the entire home buying process. Get yourself empowered with knowledge. And remember, if you're going to be diving into all the terms and definitions, that's not an excuse for all of you over-researchers out there to skip steps while you're going down a rabbit hole trying to learn every word in the world of real estate. Start with the deciding, step 1, and then step 2, get your guides, and then you can have multiple people working on your custom plan. You've got a caring real estate support team, some would say with unicorn-like qualities, and now your planning has started, and simultaneously you can do all this learning while you're getting ready for the big moment when you get out there and start looking and writing offers on homes. Go to howtobuyahome.com and get your super squad today, or get one on your own. Doesn't matter to me. I don't care. Just follow the steps. And then when you've got your own unicorns, it's great to push yourself and do more research. Sometimes figuring out how to buy a home kind of becomes a part-time job for a few months. Go ahead, cut out the music in the car. Go ahead, cut out the music in the car or on your work commute or your workout for the next couple of weeks and listen to some of these A to C terms and definitions. I did my best to make them palatable and entertaining, so you're not going to feel like you're learning a vocabulary list that's something that you've got to have a test on in the next couple of days. And especially if you're brand new to all this, the definitions are a great place to start to help you gain confidence in a short amount of time. It's all here for you. Go for it. Get that confidence. Eliminate your fear, because you can do this.
Looking for more DIY education or your own personal step-by-step guidance through the home buying journey? Since 2019, How to Buy a Home has been the #1 resource for first-time home buyers. So visit howtobuyahome.com to get started.